The Lakers have been relatively quiet this offseason aside from one move. They signed a 7-foot former first overall pick who got bought out by Portland. The question is, does Ayton move the needle for the Lakers? Do the Lakers have what it takes to go the distance this upcoming season? Before we give you the detailed breakdown regarding exactly how Ayton and his unique skill set will change the Lakers, we quickly have to break down what went wrong with LA last season. All things being equal, the Lakers were pretty good, but definitely not great last year, at least in the regular season. After their blockbuster trade in the beginning of February, they managed to finish the year with 50 wins. Nothing to scoff at in the competitive Western Conference. But they got manhandled in the first round by the Timberwolves. To be fair, Luka and the Lakers only had a couple of months to develop chemistry before literally getting thrown to the Wolves. But even so, it was clear that the Lakers were outmatched physically. A cohesive and hungry Minnesota team looked bigger, more energized, and more athletic. They scored relentlessly in the interior, and they constantly attacked Luka and exposed him as a liability on defense, and dominated the glass. Regardless of chemistry, to me, it looked like the Lakers needed to make some pretty impactful changes in order not to just win a playoff round, but ultimately win the ship. With Luka and LeBron, they have proven star players to make a run. Both guys have gone to the finals 1 year after missing the playoffs, so it definitely can be done. But does Ayton, who will be replacing Dorian Finney-Smith in the starting lineup, change the DNA of this roster enough? Let's start with offense. LeBron, and even more so Luka, loves lobbing the ball to centers. Both players thrive in the pick and roll, and they both openly vouched that they wanted management to chase a big man immediately. While Ayton was only in the 50th percentile in pick and roll, that can largely be attributed to the fact that Portland lacked a playmaking point guard. However, Ayton still managed to get to the rim for over 34% of his shots last year. If we take a look at this chart, we can see when comparing Ayton to other centers, he took a reasonable percentage of his looks close to the basket. But what is extremely impressive is that Ayton, when he was healthy, shot 82%. He was the best in the entire group, considering he is now going to be playing with two of the best pick-and-roll playmakers in basketball history. We can only imagine that he's going to get even easier looks. Lots of reasons to believe that it could be a match made in heaven on offense. Ayton is a very capable rebounder, even compared to the best at his position. During his shortened season last year, Ayton had a rebounding percentage of 18.2%, which is right around his career average. That's comparable to bigs like Jokic and Gobert, who have given the Lakers plenty of trouble in the playoffs in recent years. But Ayton is far from just a rim runner. Ayton shot just over 20% of his shots in the short mid-range from 10 to 16 feet around the basket. And he was outstanding in that range, knocking him down with 49% accuracy. Without trying to make a full comparison to a guy who is a champion and a Hall of Famer, I just want to point out that Chris Bosh had a somewhat similar shooting profile in Toronto before teaming up with LeBron in Miami. And in Miami, he stretched out to the three-point line in order to create space for LeBron in the interior. I could see the same thing happening with Ayton. JJ Redick has made it clear he wants to play 5 out at times and emulate the style that Joe Mazzulla coaches in Boston. While Ayton has never shown the consistency or ability to get buckets like Bosh did in Toronto, I think they are a little more similar than some fans might think. Ayton has been basically criticized his entire career for being soft for a player that is built like one of the most forceful physical specimens in the league. But the fact of the matter is, he just hasn't proven to be a physical guy in the NBA, but has shown a lot of high-end skill for a man his size. It might be time that the Lakers reconsider who he is and allow him to develop his game accordingly. To further iterate how impactful DeAndre Ayton can be on offense, let's take a look at the players who led the league in screen assists last season. Ayton was ranked amongst elite company. No doubt Luka, LeBron, and AR will take full advantage of the space created by Ayton. As I've said a couple of times, the potential to be an elite offensive team is there for the Lakers this year. However, I'm not sure I can say the same about their defense, which was really where they fell short last year and is probably the most important side of the court to address. There was nothing that indicated that DeAndre Ayton was good at defense last year. Even though he's gifted with an athletic frame and great mobility, he didn't protect the basket very well at all. Amongst players that played center and regularly guarded the rim, Ayton was one of the worst in the league allowing opponents to shoot almost 66%. He's never been much of a shot blocker either for a player of his build and in his role. Last year, he had a block percentage of 2.9%, which is close to his career average. Not very high for a player at his position. He was also very poor at guarding the perimeter as well as the mid-range. The only area of the floor where Ayton excelled on defense was in the 5 to 9 feet from the basket range, where he was able to use his length and quickness to hold opponents below 40%, which was one of the best in the league. If we date back to his days in Phoenix, when his team was much better, we can see he wasn't always this bad on defense. He's had his ups and downs, but earlier in his career, he showed a lot more upside as a rim protector. More impressively, you can see that he showed a lot of upside as a center that could guard the perimeter. Every year of his career until this season, Ayton held his opponents to 35% or lower from 3. That definitely could be a stat the Lakers considered when weighing their options, because it was one of the key reasons Jackson Hayes was unable to stay on the court in the playoffs. So let's take a look at what the Lakers' options are based on the roster they currently have. This chart has all the Lakers' front court options. I also included Dorian Finney-Smith, who the Lakers relied on heavily as a defender last season, so we can see what they need to replace. Vanderbilt is clearly the better perimeter defender of all Lakers front court players. While Hayes wasn't great further away from the basket, he was actually one of the team's better interior defenders while he was on the court alongside Finney-Smith, who they lost. Maxi Kleber, who was acquired in the Doncic deal, was injured throughout the season but should be healthy next year. He's been lauded in the past by LeBron and Redick as a big man with some ability to guard the perimeter. The Lakers are going to be a lot bigger next season than they were this year after they traded Davis. With a variety of lengthy front court players, as well as Luka and LeBron, they should be able to compete in the rebounding department, which was one of their weaknesses against the Wolves. However, in my opinion, they haven't done enough to address the defensive issues that will be difficult to overcome as long as they have Luka, LeBron, and Reeves on the court at the same time. In fairness, it was slim pickings, and Ayton at less than $9 million per year is a bargain for what he brings. A 26-year-old center with his size, skill, screening, and rebounding ability is very rare. There's a good chance that the Lakers could have one of the best offenses in the league, but if they are depending on this guy to be their physical answer to teams like OKC and Minnesota, I think they're going to be really frustrated. Ayton has never really shown that he wants to be a physically imposing center. He's very skilled and still has upside. I think LA would be best off embracing him as a skill guy, but not an upgrade for a team that needed to get more physical. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to Sports Insight because we've got more videos coming your way.